Hello everybody and welcome to the Nexus Gaming series. I am Jason, and today we've got a Division D West match between PeelTeamSix and the Bone Boys, and we're going to jump right on into the action. These teams are ready to go. And game number one, we're going to be going to Infernal Shrines. As always, I get to fix our game number two, because it's always Infernal Shrines, but typically it's not always the same second map. There we go. We're going to go to Cursed Hollow for game number two. So just quickly going over these map bans and picks. It was indeed the Bone Boys that won the toss. They elected to prioritize first pick. So the first map ban went to PeelTeamSix, who took away Brax's Holdout. Sky Temple was banned out by the Bone Boys. Cursed Hollow picked up here for the Bone Boys. So first pick, first ban going over to PeelTeamSix. And Cursed Hollow was selected as the map of choice for PeelTeamSix that we'll play in game number two. Alright, so first ban, of course, no big shocker. Azmodan going to be taken off the board. Very difficult to deal with on these large maps where you got good split potential. And you want to allocate a lot of resources to the map objective here, which really gives Azmodan maximum value on that general across the map, getting the side soak and that extra XP. Plus, he's got really good shrine clear, so it's definitely one of Azmodan's better maps, and he's very strong in the meta right now after his changes. Would expect to see some nerfage at some point, but we'll see exactly when and if that does indeed come into play down the road. Meanwhile, Genji going to be banned out by the Bone Boys. Very popular meta pick. Difficult to deal with that dive, and just in general, his mobility potential is just ridiculous. The Sergeant Hammer ban coming out from PeelTeamSix. Now, I respect the hammer, even now after the nerfs to the blunt force gun. Now, of course, with the changes to the level 20, that don't allow... Well, actually, the heroic as a whole no longer does damage to structures. So it was a fairly large nerf to that heroic and the cheese ability in the late game to be able to take down structures if just given enough time with that orbital. But still pretty strong in the meta nonetheless. I think that blunt force gun is still a good finishing. Still has good finishing potential if the opponent's trying to walk away. So I still like that call overall. Meanwhile, Sonya going to be banned out on the other side, and Hanzo is going to be the first pick here for the side of PeelTeamSix. So, of course, Hanzo very strong in the current meta. A lot of good poke damage and clear potential on the shrine as well. So he's pretty highly prioritized quite often. Jimmy has made it through now the first three picks and the first four bans. So interesting to see the Jimmy making it so far down. But we will see Leoric and the Garrosh coming out. So looking for that isolative potential. Leoric, of course, does have good finishing potential nowadays with his increased single target damage potential. And of course, he's got quite a lot of mobility with that Wraith Walk. Meanwhile, Johanna and Blaze going to be banned out here or picked up here for PeelTeamSix, I should say. And the Alexstrasza going to be banned out for the side of the Bone Boys. So not wanting to see that incredible early game pressure from that dragon come out. Blaze, of course, very strong in the solo lane, though can sometimes struggle a little bit with the Leoric. In that matchup, Leo definitely has the superior self-sustain and good percentage damage to really knock down the Blaze's health. But in the solo lane nowadays, with the infinite ammo and the turrets, you know, you really only have to just let the wave push in and try and take minimal damage. Even if you do lose that solo lane, you just got to play it carefully. So we'll see if PeelTeamSix can manage through that. And the Tychus coming out, so double percentage damage. The Stukov, of course, does have the ability to provide both slows and the silence from that lurking arm to try to follow up the Garrosh. And of course, Tychus, very good at doing focused single target damage, especially with that minigun. If you do get somebody thrown backwards by the Garrosh, even if it's a high health target like Blaze or Johanna. Very interesting pick here. Zagara, gonna be the secondary backline damage dealer. Quite a lot of siege pressure coming in from Zagara. The potential for the global post level 10 with that Nidus network. And that's just in general difficult to deal with once you get to that point. And another sort of off-meta pick here, this time from the Bone Boys, is going to be the Vala. So a lot of AA damage into the Johanna, which is interesting. The blinds could be problematic for that for those backline damage dealers, especially in a world where we still have the option for a few different wave clear mages to come in, possibly. But we will see quite a lot of poke damage to this front line, so we'll have to see. Vala, of course, is also able to lay quite a bit of damage down onto a tossed target. Overall, though, I gotta say, I don't usually find myself favoring a Zagara draft, but I do like the draft coming out here from PeelTeamSix. We did see the Bone Boys yesterday, though, in our stream last night. Very, very strong in terms of their macro presence and game sense. So I'm expecting to see more of the same from them here. This is our first look at PeelTeamSix, however, so we'll see how they end up matching up overall. And on the left, we are going to see PeelTeamSix, even most of them sporting the PTS label to start off their names. But first we'll go with Hell Blood on the Johanna. Philly P going to be playing the Blaze. Blazem going to be on the Hanzo. We're going to have Johnny Ringo on the Karazim. And we're going to have Mr. Noob on the Zagara. Meanwhile, on the right, we've got the Bone Boys. Tastes Rancid is going to be on the Tychus. Some Scrub is going to be playing the Garrosh. Arcanaut going to be on Stukov. Ross will be on the Leoric. And Shrimpin is going to be on the Vala. Once again, this is the Div D West, game number 1 coming out here. I want to thank these teams for being flexible, letting me jump in at the last minute as we had a cancellation in one of the other division matches. Ended up picking up these guys, and they were amenable, which I appreciate. Meanwhile, the toss going to come out on Blaze, but some Scrub ends up finding himself some damage there on the Garrosh. Of course, he's not too worried about it. Not only does he have a very strong healer in the Stukov ready to go for him, but also we're seeing quite a lot of that armor going to be coming out the lower health he gets. So not even reached his final form yet in terms of tankiness when he's sitting at those kind of health levels. Meanwhile, the toss does come in onto the Karazim, but that's not going to be the target you generally want to try to isolate. He's got that dash out. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, I was wrong. I thought we were going to see the Johanna going up against, or not the Johanna, but the Blaze going up against the Leoric, but we actually end up with Zagara. And this is a pretty interesting matchup. Now, Zagara completely out of mana at this point, but generally should be able to do pretty well against Leoric with a melee solo laner there. Early camp grab here by PeelTeamSix, and they'll lose minimal soak for it in the mid as they rotate up to grab that mid wave. They are a little bit behind, though. Not much. They'll make up a lot of that just right off of these 4 minions in bot, so not really a huge deal. Still very even overall in this matchup. No deaths yet. Both teams have been fairly passive overall. Just as I say that, though, Vala steps up and takes quite a bit of poke damage there. Meanwhile, Mr. Noob still kind of having his way with the top lane. Go ahead and take a look at these talents here. He did elect to go with the additional structure damage. And actually, it's not just structure damage, it's any non-hero. So throwing those banelings into the shrine pit will help you kill the monkeys a little bit more efficiently with that talent as well. You know, greater wave clear, greater siege damage. Meanwhile, it looks like Mr. Noob starting to set up, spreading a little bit of that, that lovely creep everywhere. And actually give up a little soak just to get all of that out, but very low on mana. Meanwhile, Vala going to be staying in the bot lane for a little side soak action here. So it will be a bit of a disadvantage here for the Bone Boys until Vala rotates up. We'll have to see if PeelTeamSix recognizes that and decides to try to take advantage. And you see Johnny Ringo once again being the target of that toss there from Garrosh, but once again the dash out, making it very easy to disengage. And the Vala continuing to side soak. So the members of Bone Boys not really interested in starting this. We will finally see PeelTeamSix get it started, but by now the Vala is rotating up, so they pretty much didn't get anything out of that potential advantage that they could have had. Once again, the toss. This time, though, onto the Johanna. Iron Skin will be popped, and Johanna will walk away. Blazem gonna hop his way on out, using that Shimada button. And for right now, pretty even on the Shrine minions here. Oh, meanwhile, huge condemn here after Hellbud gets tossed in, but the Tychus just completely ripping apart that high health pool on the Johanna. Meanwhile, they're trying to return damage. They spread a lot onto the Stukop and the Vala. The rest of the members are going to back up, and for right now, pretty big Shrine lead now for PeelTeamSix. They have been focusing on getting the wave clear and the Shrine clear up here. But now it is Blaze that ends up being the target of Taste Rancid, and he gets knocked out. Zagara is going to go down, and all of a sudden, Bone Boys turning it up to 11 here. Taking out hero after hero, and the focus fire pretty solid overall, and they're going to end up netting themselves the Frozen Punisher off of that. Very nice team fighting, very patient play. They went back to the well and tapped. They were able to get the advantage, and now even sending the Leoric out to side soak. So Ross is going to get some nice XP off of that. Even going to catch a lot of this massive wave in the bot lane. Meanwhile, we do see the Punisher being baited in, but the front wall already gone, so the members of PeelTeamSix are going to have to do most of the legwork themselves in terms of clearing up this Punisher. However, with the Punisher starting to get low, we will see the Bone Boys backing up, maybe not. They come back in here, and they're going to put a little bit more damage out, but now we'll finally back up as John Cena crumbles into a pile of ice. Still about a level lead gained here, though, for the Bone Boys, despite not getting that fort down. A lot of XP now put into these forts. And we will see Mr. Noob back into lane, doing his thing. Big invasion moment here for the Bone Boys, getting aggressive. They do have that one level lead, but it's not heroics yet. It's not a talent tier advantage, so no real inherent advantage gained for them other than maybe that 4% from the level, and they are going to pay for it. Vala is going to end up going down. Nice engage here from PeelTeamSix. Not only knocking them off of their camp and defending it, but that's going to be a nice little boost in XP for them as they're trying to get to level 10. The Bone Boys are still going to win that race by quite a bit, but having that one player down is going to hinder their ability to soak just a little bit. And of course, you can't... you gotta be happy gaining some XP from that kill, regardless. Meanwhile, Taste Rancid stepping up, trying to get some damage onto the Kharazim. will think better of it as he backs up to the towers. For now, PeelTeamSix going to focus on continuing to paint the map blue. It'll be yet another camp capture. Camp is up over on the side of the Bone Boys, but ideally they want to try to force here with level 10. See if they can force anywhere on the map, but right now PeelTeamSix playing pretty passive. They see the members down bot, going ahead and getting that clear, so they'll step up a little bit in mid to get that clear, but level 10's now coming in for both teams. We're going to see Blessed Shield along with the Dragon Arrow, 7-sided strike, Nidus Network, and the Bunker for PeelTeamSix. Meanwhile, over on the side of the Bone Boys, we'll see the Commandeer Odin, Reign of Vengeance, Entomb, Warlord's Challenge, and the Flailing Swipe for the members of the Bone Boys. Meanwhile, we will see once again the Johanna getting tossed. They're trying to lay down damage, but the arrow comes out there from Blazem. Going to prevent quite a lot of that damage from coming out onto the Johanna. And that's one way to counter this isolation strategy. They toss in one of your high health pool targets that, you know, can take a few hits. You throw the arrow out and really stun them, and ooh man, Ross getting so low. 58 health as he walks in over the wall. Nothing really to throw in over the wall to try and get that damage, except maybe Oil could have maybe done it. Maybe that scouting arrow could have given a shot. But either way, we will see the Shrine popping in the bot lane, and Leoric's got a long way to come back in order to get back into this one. But once again, PeelTeamSix not really in a hurry here to try to start the Shrine. We'll eventually get it started up, though. I would say that they have the superior clear on the Shrine, so they don't necessarily need to rush it. Meanwhile, the Entomb is going to come out. Bunker in response, though, as Taste Rancid ends up being the one to take a lot of damage. Odin and many of the heroics are not up for the Bone Boys here. But Ringo in the wrong part of town there, way deep into the Bone Boys, and is not going to like the result of that party. Meanwhile, PeelTeamSix will continue to focus on the Shrine, but now down a member. You got to wonder if they're going to be able to hold position here. They are not. They'll back up and try to get out, but Blazem, is it too late? And as Ross wraith walking in, and will finish him off. Actually, it's the grenade that finishes him off. The funny interaction with the Nidus trying to charge through it, but finally we will see the Odin come back here. Only 5 minions left to get, so the Bone Boys will pick that up easily. And they'll still have a decent amount of the Odin to try to push with here. Odin, of course, very good on the siege damage. So they're going to be able to siege up with this a little bit. John Cena will jump and find Johanna, but can they focus her down fast enough? The bunker it does come down. A nice use of that bunker by Hellbound. Is able to get into it and escape. But Ross is on the chase here with this Wraith Walk. We'll think better of charging into those 4 members though. Zagara and Vala both side soaking at the moment, so a 4v4 down here. If you don't count the scariest flavor of John Cena, the Arcane Punisher. So the Bone Boys quick to give up on the siege potential. I kind of like that call. You know, your Arcane Punisher was at 40%. The next logical step for PeelTeamSix is just to bait that Punisher over the wall. So instead of getting caught out in the bot lane, they go directly to mid. They steal the camp, they get the front wall here and start to soften this up. They'll even get the well here, which is a nice grab. They have wells in all 3 lanes, but now it's only the top that has a well for PeelTeamSix to fall back into. Meanwhile, Zagara is going to get the heck out of dodge here. Just in time as the members of Bone Boys are rotating up. I like that disengage and rotation. Zagara playing some pretty smart macro here. So both teams showing they've got a decent sense of macro. At the end of the day, PeelTeamSix, though, with that Zagara pick, gonna have slightly inferior team fighting potential. That's really the big problem that you give up with Zagara. Is she's just not much of a team fighter. But she does give you the global She gives you excellent pushing power and wave clear. And she's just an annoyance to deal with overall, but the Bone Boys, what they're doing in response to this is pretty smart. These guys are some pretty smart cookies. They're rotating around and forcing structures, knowing that PeelTeamSix does not want to team fight them straight up 4v4 or 5v5. So if they push into these structures, they're kind of making PeelTeamSix choose. Do you want to fight us, or do you want to continue with the passive strategy, but you're going to lose your structures? So now playing it to a T. They're up 2 forts at the moment, and they're about to pick up 16. They'll be looking to force a team fight very quickly upon grabbing that. 7-sided popped here pretty early by Ringo. Does get a decent amount of chunk damage onto Garrosh, but it's nothing he won't recover from. Though admittedly, pretty short cooldown on that 7-sided strike, so nothing too big lost there, besides the fact that PeelTeamSix now at that level 16 coming up here for Bone Boys. They don't really want to force anything until they can pick up 16s of their own. Meanwhile, Zagara globaling up to top. And I will say this much, I feel like Bone Boys have been doing a very nice job of clearing out the Nidus networks. Meanwhile, the Entomb does come out. The bunker is going to allow him to escape. Meanwhile, a ton of damage being returned here. Huge stun there from the Blaze. Philip P. trying to push him back here. This is a 4v5, however. And the members of Bone Boys going to try to turn this. Johanna gets tossed and is getting just ripped apart there. There are multiple members low, though, for Bone Boys as well. So both teams got to be careful here. The Odin is popped. That's going to give them some nice amount of poke on the long end. Does end up expiring, however. And that, again, that was a fight without 16. So PeelTeamSix lucky to not lose any heroes there. Bone Boys spending pretty much all of their heroics. Though they do have heroics that are pretty low in cooldown. Other than the Odin. They get those heroics back pretty quickly. Meanwhile, the members of PeelTeamSix do get 7-sided and bunker back pretty quick. Blessed Shield also, only a 60-second cooldown, not too long. Meanwhile, toss in, and the condemn is huge. Paired up with that arrow. And this is actually going to be the front line falling of the Bone Boys. So level 16 picked up for PeelTeamSix, and they get in there and do something with it. But Ringo's in trouble. Somebody's got to get back to him to help him. Oh, to help him get out, but it's not enough. Arcanaut finishing him off there. I think that was probably the explosion on the pustule of all things to take out Ringo. But none of the teams stepped up to give him a dash out. Though admittedly, he may not have had a dash. Once he was in range, he didn't dash out, so maybe he just didn't have it. Either way, a little too aggressive there from the Kerosene. Mortar Punisher is going to be picked up, though, for the Bone Boys. And Odin going to be popped, as they are chasing. They're not even interested in trying to take down John Cena. We'll see the Entomb come out, and the Johanna's going to go down, so nice staggering here from the Bone Boys, able to get that extra pick, and now they'll take a look at John Cena. Or will John Cena take a look at them as he jumps on Taste Rancid? I really like the Mortar Punisher. A lot of people rant and rave about the Arcane Punisher, but I love the extra siege damage potential from the Mortar Punisher and all these fire rings. That said, though, if unaided like any Punisher, he's just going to get melted, so there goes that poor Punisher. Meanwhile, Bone Boys rotating around looking for maybe trying to find somebody rotating out of place. But Ross is going to be the one that's caught here. He's going to have to try to escape using that long Wraith Walk. Does manage to do that. And get out in a timely manner. Now here comes PeelTeamSix. Trying to pick up their camp on the other end. About a level lead right now for the Bone Boys, so they don't need to rush here. They soak this out to 20. they're going to have some good opportunities here in the late game to try and take this to the finish. They do still have a pretty significant structure advantage. Particularly good for them in this bot lane, where they have their fort and their well. And the next Punisher, or Shrine I should say, and Punisher will be spawning in this bot lane. The difference, though, is that Bone Boys capture this one in bot. That's going to be marching directly towards the keep. It could end up being the first keep of the game, if not the game itself, if played correctly. Meanwhile, for PeelTeamSix, even if they get this Punisher, still going to have to go through that fort before they can even threaten keep. If I remember correctly, that bottom wall is gone too. Yeah, completely gone on that bottom keep front wall. It's going directly to the keep. So you can see, Bone Boys just playing passive. But I like this call from PeelTeamSix. They know likely where Bone Boys are, and before the level 20 comes out, they're going to force the issue and even the odds in the bot lane. So excellent macro play. Going to get them a little extra XP, but they got to be careful. The rotation is coming in. Level 20 is not here yet. This is a good opportunity for them to fight. They're going to take it, and they're going to take out Leoric. And meanwhile, actually, Garrosh getting very low as well. 400 health right now. Is backing up. Does have a lot of additional armor with that. And we'll be able to make it out. But that was the exact fight that PeelTeamSix wanted to force by clearing that bottom fort. And Bone Boys played right into their hand there. And now, while Bone Boys do have their level 20s, they are down the Leoric for a little while longer. Leo trying to lessen that time a little bit, but not quite able to keep up with the mounted members of PeelTeamSix. And actually, Leo's got to be careful here. He's going to spawn right in the middle of PeelTeam. Oh, man, he's going to get knocked down to half health right to start this. Shrine is available, but not being activated by either team just yet. You would think that this would be an opportunity for Bone Boys to activate this and try and get a lead with their 20s, but they actually wait to activate it, and now the level 20s are here. Zagara can come right down to the bot lane with that Nidus network. Is gonna be here. And now we're gonna have the 5v5 fight here with level 20s. Huge arrow coming in once again, along with the play of the game coming out from Blazem, and Leoric gets annihilated once again, but this time Arcanaut is going to be caught out as well. So huge power play here by PeelTeamSix. They push in, and Karazim still on the chase. We'll actually even see Hellblood with him this time, but they turn and burn down the Johanna with that minigun from the Tychus. Holy cow, it's a lot of damage. And the members split up there. Zagara goes to top. 2 members stay on the shrine, and 2 members chase. And Bone Boys end up making them pay for that split. However, we do have the Punisher up. Arcane Punisher is here. And we'll be marching in that bot lane. And for right now, Bone Boys splitting up. They grab the top fort with that Zagara. And now Mr. Noob going to just go ahead and camp. Got the bottom camp being grabbed here. Meanwhile, the Punisher just now arriving to this keep front wall. They do have the option to try and bait this thing over, and will. They do bait it back to where only the keep is hitting it, though. And multiple members stacking in for that stun. But we will see the Punisher going down nonetheless. Meanwhile, PeelTeamSix saying, it's not really a big deal. We'll get the camps. We'll get some structure damage in the mid. I'll leave Bone Boys with about nothing to do here. All heroics are up for both teams. The arrow's going to come in again. Massive arrow coming in as a 4-man stun. Stukov just gets completely blown up. Ross is going to be next here. And you know, the trait value from the Leoric is real, but he's been dying quite a bit in the last few minutes of this game. been a rough life for the Ghost guy. Meanwhile, look at PeelTeamSix. They're going to go directly to the bot lane. They know that this could potentially mean keep for them. With 2 members down and some scrub going in deep to get the toss. There's not really a whole lot of follow-up, especially with Rancid in the Odin at the time. Cannot pop his trait for minigun. So that's going to end up costing him his life. Ringo going in deep does get turned on by Rancid there. It puts out a nice amount of damage, but it is the keep that ends up taking the fatal damage. And on this top lane, they got to watch out. Another keep is about to be under duress from the Shaman camp. And Zagara looking to make things worse with a second Shaman camp. But here come the members of the Bone Boys. They're going to scout this out. On the other hand, PeelTeamSix is going to be here as well. So this could turn into another fight. Shield coming out, and Leoric gets just... Wow, just bursted down there. That is so much damage. I was unaware that PeelTeamSix had that much damage. They do. They knock him directly down off of that solid Blessed Shield coming in from Johanna. And they're going to look to capitalize by getting themselves a second keep. And there's just not a whole lot the Bone Boys can do about this. Look at the arrow coming out onto Arcanaut. No follow-up really intended there. They did not burn the play of the game. The team had already called it backwards, but you know, it's a zoning arrow. It's just zoning them back. No big deal. Again, Mr. Noob off to the side, getting work done on this Zagara, getting value out of this pick. So much camp clear potential, and not only that, but you know, the Nidus network, you can just go all over the map. Next stop will be here, the camp. You know, then can jump maybe to top, to clear the wave. Push that in a little bit. Then maybe pop up a Nidus network somewhere in this area. Jump right in, or just walk here. That's true. No need to burn the Nidus stack if you don't need to. Blessed Shield comes in. The toss is in. But once again, it's the Johanna getting tossed in, which, you know, is kind of okay. She's got indestructible. She can eat that entire minigun stack, no problem. So that is stacked up pretty high now. In the rhythm up to 179 right now. But it is the members of PeelTeamSix that are stacking up the kills. 3 make it 4 for nothing. And they are just going to look to go directly down the bot lane. Odin is here, but they've got camps and catapults pushing in with them here. Now with 4 members down, I just don't see a world where Taste Rancid can knock this down. Sentir, by the way, hello. This is a message from the future. But PeelTeamSix living in the here and now, getting themselves a win here in game number 1 on Infernal Shrines. Solid macro. Gotta love the Zagara coming out. Bone Boys, though, did have a few good team fights in the early game, no doubt about it. I think part of the problem is the isolation on the Zagara, on the Johanna specifically. You know, if you throw the Blaze, just as a secondary example, you throw the Blaze, he does have Bunker, but that forces him to pop Bunker in a very terrible spot for him. You know, he doesn't want to throw it in the middle of, you know, your team where you can just instantly delete it. But the Johanna just has to stand there, condemn, hit her abilities, and kind of make your day rough. We did see Johanna die a few times, but especially after 20 with that indestructible. Some work done there. Give you guys a quick snapshot of the talents. And then we'll go ahead and set this up for game number 2. So game number 2, we're going to be going to Cursed Hollow. That is going to be the map selection of PeelTeamSix. So see if they can manage to pick themselves up a second victory here in this matchup. First Hollow, of course, big map, not unlike Infernal Shrines. Maybe a little bit bigger, 3-lane map. And the map objectives a little bit more frequent when I get to these tributes, but poke still valuable. Camp clear, a little more valuable. Hanzo, very solid pick on this map for his boss clearing potential. Global is also typically prioritized here pretty heavily. You like to get some of that side soak while still being able to make it on time for these tribute fights. And a lot of it, I feel like, comes down to how you use your curses here when you get them. Now, if you don't take maximum advantage, a lot of times that allows the other team to really sneak back into the game, even if you work hard and you get those 3 tributes. We'll see. Looks like we got all 10 players in lobby. Alright, looks like we got 1 AFK for 1 minute. I know what we'll do, though. I'll take this opportunity to thank everybody who's currently hosting the channel. We got Rival, Archangel, Swing Time, Giggle Schmack, Ice Fox, Nibbler, A Bit, Bisto, TV, Moist Weenus, Consort, Norian 2, Ouija06. Thank you very much for hosting, guys. I appreciate it. The support is always welcome. I also want to thank everybody that's come out and watching tonight. Some good Div D action. These two teams seem pretty solidly competitive. Very back and forth in that first game. Both teams pretty evenly getting to level 20. I think a lot of it came down to the fact that PeelTeamSix had a stronger late game team. One of the things that you really like about a Zagara is if you get an edge in late game, she can really start throwing out her Niduses and her creep all around the map, and it just makes her very hard to deal with. You can't out-rotate a Zagara when she's got those Nidus networks down. And in the mid and early game, mid-game post 10 to about maybe level 18 or 19, Bone Boys were doing a nice job of clearing out those Niduses. But PeelTeamSix eventually putting those in hard-to-reach places on their side of the map and putting more and more of them down, which makes it harder for Bone Boys to be able to rotate and destroy them safely. Plus just the additional vision across the map to be able to see where they're rotating can be pretty solid. I wouldn't be shocked to see it come out on this map, but she is decent on Cursed Hollow. If I'm going to play Zagara in Hero League, it's mainly on this map, on Cursed Hollow, Sky Temple, I really like her a lot, and Dragonshire. Those are kind of my main 3. If I decide to pull out the Zagara, which I do less and less these days, what can I say? I'm that guy that's tryharding on Genji now. It's not as fun, but, you know, it's more useful to my team, so you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright. Look, both teams are ready to go, and we will head right on into game number 2. We played on Cursed Hollow. PeelTeamSix up 1-0 for the moment. We'll see if Bone Boys can bring it back here. So this is going to be PeelTeamSix's map, so we'll see what their strategy is. We saw some very high-quality Hanzo play from PeelTeamSix that last time, so if I'm Bone Boys, my #1 priority adjustment here is to either pick or ban the Hanzo before PeelTeamSix can get it. He's just so strong on this map with his ability to rip through these bosses. It makes it kind of impossible to keep up with the boss rotation. You have to really scout it out perfectly if you want to get there in time. Sentier says, do you stream Div A or try to stay away from your own div? I don't mind streaming Div A at all, Sentier. I don't mind streaming any division, because at the end of the day, I'm good. You know, I feel like I can be impartial and just call it like it is, and not, you know, call it like I have a dog in the fight. Even if I do have a dog in the fight. But yeah, you know, it's availability. You know, I can only cast matches during the week and on Saturdays, you know, like after 8 o'clock. And so, and I can't even cast most Sunday and Mondays unless it's early in the day. So a lot of times it just comes up to what games are available, what games haven't already been taken. We actually had a Storm Division match on the schedule for tonight. However, that match got canceled due to one of the teams disbanding. So these guys were generous enough to let me hop in on their match last minute. Still give you guys something to watch. But let's take a look at these bans. So, pretty standard bans from PeelTeamSix. They take out the Raynor and the Azmodan that are so very strong in the meta right now. Meanwhile, the Zagara banned out here by the Bone Boys, so not wanting to deal with those shenanigans again. And also going back to their Sonya ban, I believe they banned it in Game 1. The question is, do they deny the Hanzo here? Is that something they're going to pick up? Yes, they do. So, gotta love those picks from the Bone Boys. Right now, like, those decisions to take out the Zagara and to pick up the Hanzo, off the first pick here, they're already winning the draft, in my opinion. They're going to force PeelTeamSix to do something else. And I really like that call. If you get beat, just don't let them beat you in the same way. Force them to take you out with something else in Game 2. I really like that drafting strategy. Meanwhile, Johanna and Genji are going to be picked up here. So going back to the Johanna. And the Genji, of course, very difficult to deal with on this map. In a world where you're trying to cap these, Poke is not your friend, and Junkrat and Hanzo are two of the best in the business in terms of long-range poking. So right now the Bone Boy is just building for that potential. However, one of the more difficult things with Junkrat and Hanzo are the fact that their abilities aren't usually pretty precise, so it can be difficult to hit those moving targets. However, Diablo is pretty good at helping you telegraph where to put those abilities. So especially if you get that wall bang into the overpower, it can be pretty rough when you got high damage heroes like Hanzo and Junkrat on the other side that are just basically, can you hit your abilities to do a crap ton of damage? Diablo says yes most of the time. So Jaina going to be banned out along with the Deckard Cain. The Deckard ban's pretty interesting from PeelTeamSix. They don't yet have a healer, but I suppose they just didn't want the Deckard and didn't want to play against it. Deckard, probably one of the more difficult heroes to snipe down when you're on the chase, you know, with somebody like a Genji, because he can just self-potion all day. Oh man, the Zol coming out. So PeelTeamSix, definitely willing to play the off-meta stuff. We saw the Zagara come out last game. This time it's going to be Zol. You don't get much further away from the meta right now than the Zol. I would even say Zagara is closer to the meta right now. Zol's big problem is that he got a lot of his power taken away when the towers went to full ammo, to unlimited ammo, I should say, because the strategy used to be that you just throw so many waves of minions to soak up that ammo that eventually the towers would just run out, and then the minions would eventually overtake the structure. But now that the ammo can just shoot forever, Zol just not nearly as effective, but we'll see. Now, right now they got 2 roots and the Condemn from Johanna, so they got a lot of lockdown. And the Blaze, once again, coming out from PeelTeamSix. They had some good bunkers that last game, some good stuns. But now no range damage against a pretty much all poke damage from Bone Boys. Should be interesting to see. Meanwhile, the Dahaka and the Stukov also coming out here from Bone Boys, so prioritizing that global with the Dahaka, very strong on this map. And once again, we're going to see the Stukov, but if they get the lockdown on the Stukov for PeelTeamSix, that's going to be rough. They've got the Genji that can easily follow up a Bone Prism here from the Zol. Not to mention the follow-up from Malfurion and Blaze, or vice versa. The Blaze can charge in the Zulk and then Root, and then Malf can follow that up. Makes it very easy for the Genji to hit that max ranged Swift Strike, get that extra poison damage at the end of that, post level 4. I like their combo again. And it's not meta with that Zol, but we'll see if they can make it work. They certainly did in the last game. On the left, PeelTeamSix. We're gonna see Hellblood gonna be playing the Johanna. Blazem gonna be on the Genji. Philly P on the Blaze. We're gonna have Johnny Ringo on the Malfurion, and Mr. Noob gonna be playing the Zol. While on the right, oh, you got the Bone Boys. Arcanaut gonna be playing the Diablo.
5, 4.
Taste Rancid gonna be on the Stukov. Ross gonna be playing the Dahaka. Some Scrub on the Hanzo, and Shrimpin gonna be on the Junkrat. So a little bit of a change up here. So we have Arcanaut going to the tank role, and Tastes Rancid gonna be going to the support role. We'll see how that works out for them. It's not unheard of for heroes and players to flex based on, you know, what heroes they're playing, but typically you see tanks and supports in particular specialize. You know, a lot of times the flexes are sometimes in the solo lane, but more often in the damage dealers, in the melee. But typically you see tanks mostly play tanks, and supports mostly play supports. We'll see if this works out for the Bone Boys. 4-man rotation to the top. So it looks like what PeelTeamSix is wanting to do here is push the top super hard with their 4-man and maybe have Zol double soak, is what I'm thinking. It's too big a map for that. It's just, yeah, it's too massive. But now they will leave the Blaze up top, and PeelTeamSix will come to the bot. So they did force 3-man rotation here from Bone Boys, and it could be that they're just trying to throw them off. And to be honest, if that's what they're trying to do, I think they've done it. You kind of see Bone Boys rotating around, not quite sure where to go now. I mean, they're clearly a little bit thrown off to start this off. But meanwhile, Zol in the bot lane just completely out of mana, struggling to handle the Dahaka here. I like the stall here from Mr. Noob. Stalling out these minions. 3-man rotation from PeelTeamSix to go ahead and grab their camp. Hanzo on the other side, grabbing their siege camp. Rotation to the mid. Blazem trying to put some pressure on Junkrat. He will have to pop his way on out with that concussion mine. Speaking of which, we got level 4 talents coming in. Let's bring up those talents for you guys. So the root does come out onto the Haka. We got 3 members here. Ringo a little bit late to try and get that root out. If anything, he could also put that root right on the fence and just make it so the Haka can't rotate through the wall. But either way, we'll see the camps coming up in both lanes. Advantage, though, to the side of the Bone Boys, simply due to the fact that the Tribute is up here on top. So their camp should be able to push uncontested in the bot lane, and even with the Haka currently pushing it. That said, though, here comes the 2-man rotation as double root on its way. We're going to see the first root come out. The Haka does hit the tongue, though, so the root is not going to be instantaneous. We will see him burrow out of the root, and now 4 members are here, and Ross still makes it out. Amazing play there to make it out alive. But again, it's the finishing potential. You got quite a lot of CC. No doubt about that. Though less without Philly P, who's in all kinds of trouble up here, is gonna make it out with 300 health. Very close call there. But, you know, where's the damage really coming in? That's my question. Johanna, not so much. Blaze has some damage, but not a ton of hero damage, especially spike damage to try and kill a CC target. Zol, not really your guy in terms of main assassin work. Genji's good at finishing kills, but doesn't have a whole lot of chunk potential. So it's gonna have to be, you know, and then of course Malfurion, who just, you know, is the support. Fairly high damage actually for a support, but, you know, not gonna quickly assassinate anybody. So the question really is, can they focus the relatively small amount of damage they have for PeelTeamSix onto that one target? It's gonna come purely down to target focus. To be fair, though, it should be pretty easy in terms of who to focus. It's the guy getting CC'd, and a lot of times that'll be initiated right here by the root that we're about to see come out. So it comes out onto Diablo, and they do focus him down, and there it is. You see, it's very simple, this combination for PeelTeamSix, and they do it effectively there, and it'll get them this tribute. The question is, can they continue to repeat that throughout the game? Worth noting that Junkrat has the ability to really disrupt that combo with the concussion mine. I mean, if it's telegraphed for PeelTeamSix from that easy route and the follow-up, it's also telegraphable for Shrimpin with the concussion mine. If he just throws concussion mine right on that rooted target as everyone bears down on him and he explodes it, it could potentially save that CC'd target. Well, at least long enough for Taste Rancid to go ahead and get out the heal. The root can also, the silence can also go down on top of that with that lurking arm. Oh, but he's got to be careful. Stukov rotating right in towards where the Johanna was waiting. So both teams level 9 here, about a full level away from those 10s. Both teams having one tribute. We're going to start to see the poke come out here, potentially, from Bone Boys. Once again, they pile in, though. 3-man stun. And, oh, this time it's going to be the Hanzo getting rooted. No way he's going to make it out of there. And he just got poked way too low for that to ever be a contest. Now, Hanzo down for the next 10 seconds, plus a very long wait. But they actually already have picked up the tribute for PeelTeamSix. Meanwhile, that is an incredibly fast tribute spawn. Holy cow, I don't know that I've seen one that fast in a while. It's going to actually force PeelTeamSix to peel off of this tribute. Meanwhile, Bone Boys, especially with the Dahaka going directly to top, getting the superior soak out in lane. Mr. Noob trying to make up for that in the bot lane, is able to take out the camp, but now this tribute's spawning up in the top as level 10s come in for both teams, and for now, looks like PeelTeamSix is going to elect to just go ahead and let this one go. And that makes sense. You know, you got your Zol all the way in bot. Now both teams can look at boss. It's worth noting that the Bone Boys will get this down a lot faster with the Hanzo, assuming... Oh, we got roots and stuns hitting on both sides here. Oh my goodness. But they will be able to get this down faster with the Hanzo, or with less resources, as it were. Oh, but some scrub getting very low. Gotta be careful there. Oh, that was a close call. They will indeed clear the boss first, however. Blaze gonna dash out just in time. Meanwhile, down here we got the boss being captured. We got Ross way out in lane. He's got to be careful a little bit. So Mr. Noob gonna go and clean up the bot lane a little bit, but now he's gonna start to rotate. 5 seconds. He's gonna be pretty late on this rotate. Johanna also is not here yet. Now, Dahaka, meanwhile, is in the bot lane, but he's got the burrow to be able to come up with that brush stalk, or he will brush stalk into that mid bush there. Pretty far away. And we will get our 5v5 team fight with all the ults. The arrow is going to come out. Mr. Noob going to be blown up. Junkrat dying on the other side. So many members getting low on both sides, but meanwhile, Blazem sneaking that in the back. The X-Strike not really landing, but right now it's a 1-for-1. But the curse is now in for PeelTeamSix, and the boss is still alive in the bot lane. Boss also alive in the top lane, but the difference is that PeelTeamSix's structures are there to defend it. Meanwhile, this poor wall in the bot lane is not going to be doing anything to this boss. I have to depend on the heroes to come defend this. Meanwhile, Ross is in all kinds of trouble. The stun comes out. I believe the first route had already gone down. Zol is not here for that other route, but it does not matter. He's not going to be able to walk away from this team. Genji with that mobility. Nice swift strike to go ahead and clean up the minions as well. Mr. Noob doing Zol things up in the top lane. Gonna get a nice amount of minions just right off of that wave instantly there. And that top fort is Gonzo. They open up the wall, but now the structures are gonna start shooting again. The curse is over. And for right now, they're gonna back up. Very smart macro decision here from PeelTeamSix. You see a lot of teams at this level not know when to leave. These are not two of those teams, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen enough of the Bone Boys over the last couple days to know that they are smart macro players. They know not only when to get away, but they know how to punish a team that's overstaying. But PeelTeamSix gets out of dodge before trouble can really start for them in that mid lane. Both teams going directly to do camps. Camps pinging everywhere on the map right now. It's level 13 now in for the Bone Boys. Still pretty even overall. You know, the structure lead is obvious right now for PeelTeamSix, but that's mostly due to the curse. You got 2 tributes in right now for the Bone Boys. So if they manage to get the next tribute that pops, they're going to be right back in this game from a structure side. And while we do have the charge in onto 2, Genji going to swift strike in. The shield going to come out as well. Some Scrub does have that Shimada button to get out, but here comes that ult that I don't even know the name of it. Something Rocket or something from Junkrat. We're going to see the X-Strike on the back end, but Taste Rancid going to hit the flailing swipe button to push everybody away. And it ends up being a 2-for-0 exchange, because you don't really count Junkrat dying from the Rocket, taking himself out of the... What is that thing called? Yeah, it's Rocket Ride. Alright. Speaking of those level 10s, let's go ahead and take a look at those. It's been so busy since these teams got to level 10. Blessed Shield, X-Strike, oh man, Twilight Dream. There we go. I can never remember the name of that one. Along with the Poison Nova and the Bunker for the members of PeelTeamSix. Meanwhile, we got Flailing Swipe, along with the Lightning Breath, Rocket Ride, Isolation, and the Dragon's Arrow for Bone Boys. So, pretty standard picks across the board, except maybe that Rocket Ride. Didn't see that one coming. Tranquility's been used a little more often than normal lately, but both still totally viable. Meanwhile, the focus coming in here from PeelTeamSix onto that Diablo. Getting so low here is Arcanaut, and he will finally go down. Meanwhile, the rest of the members of PeelTeamSix still pretty healthy, and Bone Boys will back up for the moment. Though, admittedly, there are a couple members that are at half health here. Mr. Noob gonna get poked down a little bit here by those Junkrat mines, I should say. And this is kind of the problem right now for Bone Boys. They have a ton of poke. They don't really have the hard engage potential that PeelTeamSix has, so they need to be patient, especially with their frontliners. The Diablo, so easy to get caught out being a little bit overly aggressive, and in those cases, his team can't really help him get out. And now both teams going to elect to go ahead and trade bosses once again. This is definitely an advantage for the Bone Boys. They're going to clear this up in plenty of time for this tribute. But meanwhile, You know, the members of Bone Boys still cleaning this up. Only 13 seconds until this trip spawns. So it's a question of, can they now get here in time? It's going to be close. I think they can, but they're not going to be in a favorable position for sure. Level 16 also here. Bone Boys would have loved to have had the opportunity to try and get that. And again, Genji having to dive in really deep. But the extract comes in. The bait is real. As 2 kills come down pretty much instantly there from PeelTeamSix. That'll get him 16. That'll get him another one of these tributes. And Mr. Noob going to walk away before those death mines go off there. I mean, while Boss is pushing in both lanes, once again, the value will be had a little bit more heavily here from the Bone Boys. Or I should say from PeelTeamSix onto the Bone Boys structures. First of all, PeelTeamSix, all members alive and in a good position to rotate directly to clear that. Meanwhile, Bone Boys having a couple members down and having a much, much longer distance to run to clear that. So now, they've actually got to be a little bit careful here. These minions are stacking up in the bot lane. Are these minions about to backdoor this keep? Wait a minute. Oh boy, they're stacking up around it, and oh, that hurts. Bone Boys not noticing how many minions there were for that. That hurts. They had that thing cleared, but they didn't clear the lane. And Ross trying to grab that camp. I thought for a second there the camp might be able to clean that up, but it just wasn't there in time. So first keep of the game going to PeelTeamSix's minions. Meanwhile, they're doing some very nice zoning here. Some scrub will be able to get in far enough to force Blaze him off of that, but now Diablo just getting completely shredded in that team fight. Poison Nova does come out and hit a few, but again, it's Ringo just in the back, just grabbing that tribute, uncontested pretty much. Meanwhile, Blaze is going to end up going down, but now the curse is here for the members of PeelTeamSix. Second curse in a row. And Shrimpin will be able to clear up this top lane for the moment. No structures under immediate damage, but Hanzo is in a lot of damage. They do trade it out for the Genji. This is getting scrappy here in the mid. 2 members were down there for PeelTeamSix, but they managed to trade the Hanzo for the Genji as they engaged there. So now PeelTeamSix with so many members down, not really going to be able to get a whole lot of work done with this curse. So it's almost a waste. Kind of a waste of a curse here. And top lane, Keep will be able to clear that up pretty easily. PeelTeamSix grabbing the camp. And yeah, once again, Bone Boys survive. They weathered the storm. They're down the same number of keeps they were down before that curse. A little bit of damage to the top keep, but fairly negligible for the fact that that curse was out. Zol now in a little bit of trouble. Concussion Mine going to push him back in, and Arcanaut diving in, and the members of PeelTeamSix are not here to help him out. And that is a huge pick for the Bone Boys. It's got to give them a nice little level lead as they push these waves out, and give them good opportunity to clean up the mid lane. Meanwhile, PeelTeamSix going to just drop on back, grab themselves the camp. About a half level lead right now for the Bone Boys, so they're definitely going to get 20 in time for this next tribute. PeelTeamSix probably will get it. It's going to be close for them. They can't afford... Actually, they can't. They can't afford to give up one without giving up a curse, so... Right now, if I'm the Bone Boys, I'm looking to pick up this 20. And I'm looking to see if I can force a fight, possibly push into a structure, something to put pressure on PeelTeamSix to want to come fight me before these level 20s come into play. Or at least before their level 20 comes into play. But they are going to go ahead and just allow the tribute to do that naturally. I don't know, if I'm PeelTeamSix, I'm not sure if I take this fight. If you lose this fight and this curse, that can instantly be the end of the game. Bone Boys can just go right through the bot lane. They've got quite a bit of damage coming out from the Poison Nova on the other side, and the first one to actually go down is the Dahaka. And a huge oh, the bunker, but coming out of the bunker, both of them die to those death mines there. However, it ends up being a 3-for-2 exchange, but Diablo's coming back instantly. But now Shrimpin has gone too far in. Blazem is going to finish him off. And just like that, PeelTeamSix grabs themselves the tribute. There was so much going on in that. One of the main things I was focused on is the bunker. So, you know, we saw the rocket ride come in from Junkrat, and he landed it right on the bunker. And I thought for sure they were going to be safe, but enough of those death explosions went off after the bunker went down that both Johanna and Malfurion died coming out of the bunker. And of course now, you know, level 20 was not there for PeelTeamSix, so no indestructible. Malfurion no longer having ice block, no way for them to save themselves beyond that bunker. I mean, you almost gotta think that maybe if they had gotten out of the bunker and just split up, maybe only one of them would have died. Now, that's a really tough call to make in that moment, for sure. There was about a million things going on in that team fight. That was one of those team fights that you can go back and reanalyze over and over and over again. And still find new stuff every time. And Blazem actually using that X-Strike, getting a little bit spooked there. Deciding to try and disengage with that. The root comes out onto the Haka, but the burrow's there. Meanwhile, Arcanaut just getting shredded on that front line. Gets hit by the silence. And Diablo goes down. And this is looking terrible for the Bone Boys. We will see the rocket ride come out, but this time, even isolated, Malfurion manages to walk away from it, not depending on the bunker this time. And Dahaka caught in too far. And just like that, PeelTeamSix find themselves 2 kills. And Rocket Ride has brought Junkrat back into this, but it's not going to be fast enough as the members of PeelTeamSix going to look to grab themselves this boss in the top lane. Bone Boys are kind of hanging around here. Oh, but look out! The root coming in! And just like that, Hanzo going to be taken out. Maybe jumping the wrong direction over that wall. I don't know if he meant to take that angle. But not even the Shimada button was going to get him out of that one. Meanwhile, Catapult stacking in the bot lane. Bone Boy's going to have to clear that up. But that kill on Hanzo, that is a back-breaking pick if you're the Bone Boys right now. Because that is going to stagger so hard here. They have Dahaka up in 6 seconds. He could have burrowed to this tribute, but now you got Hanzo down for 25 seconds. He does have Dragon's Arrow and play of the game, but there's gonna be about an 8 to 9 second gap where the Bone Boys are not gonna have Hanzo, plus the travel time there for the arrow itself to get him back into that fight. So I just don't know. Yeah, they're not even gonna try to contest this. They're just gonna eat another curse. Now, to be fair, that has gone okay for them the last 2 times. But now PeelTeamSix has their level 20s. They have a camp pushing in mid with the only keep left. They've got 2 keeps down and waves pushing in on both sides. Plus all 5 members are alive. So they're going to try and go through the bot lane. And they're trying to play patient here. They're trying to stack up. We'll have to see if they try and look for some picks here. They definitely cannot just go directly on to keep. They are going to go after the picks. The jump in and the X-Strike is enough for Genji to finish off his brother. Ross is taking a lot of damage, but the Lightning Breath on the other side is going to take down Malfurion. Bunker not dropped there to try and save the healer. rough moment there as Junkrat is also going to fall before the Rocket Ride is back off of cooldown. Arcanaut makes it back to the Hall of Storms, but right now it's looking like the Bone Boys have turned this around despite losing Malfurion. Plus, there's a ton of damage coming down onto the core, and that is going to be it. Just an insane series by both of these teams, but it's PeelTeamSix that comes out with the domination. That is one of the more evenly matched games that I've seen so far. Granted, early here, we're still only in the first phase of the season here for NGS, but definitely a quality match coming out from both of these teams. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We'll give you a quick snapshot of the talent, and then we are going to head on out. Thank you once again to everybody who came out and watched tonight. Thank you for both of these teams coming out and putting on a great show for us. You gotta love the Div D action. Div D West, of course, that same division that houses our sister team, Divine Nine Black. So I'll be keeping an eye on this division throughout the season. But I'll be looking to pick up more matches. We actually have 2 matches that we're going to be casting tomorrow morning, so let me grab you guys the times for that real quick off the schedule. First one is at 1 p.m. PST. We've got another Div D match, this one between Mordorm and That Was Jimmy. And then we've got a B Division match at 4 o'clock, Stitches Be Crazy versus SYK. So hope you guys will come out to watch that. Don't forget to hit the follow button. Come back and watch more awesome Heroes of the Storm action. And until then, for the Nexus Gaming series, I am Jay Zahn. I will see you guys next time. Have a good night.